You ever have one of those memories that comes back to you out of nowhere, and it hits you so hard it almost knocks the wind out of you? Something you wish you could forget, but it's burned into your brain forever? For me, that memory is the day I realized a murdered girl's body had been left just down the road from my house, and the truth is, I had found it. I just didn't know what it was at the time. This story happened about 6 years ago, back when I was in my final year of high school. I was 18, about to graduate, and like most teenagers, I thought the scariest things in my life were exams, figuring out my future, and maybe not getting into the right college. I had no idea that something way darker, something straight out of a nightmare, was about to creep into my quiet little routine. At my school, the 12th grade timetable was weird. We had these long breaks between classes, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes even longer. We'd finish early some days or have extra long lunches. At first it felt like a blessing, more freedom, more downtime. Since my house was about a 20-minute walk away from school, I'd usually head home either by myself or with a friend and just hang out until it was time to go back. Now, my house wasn't in a normal suburban neighborhood. It wasn't like I could just cut through streets lined with stores or hang out at a cafe during breaks. I lived a little further out, about 40 acres on a dirt road surrounded by open land and patches of trees. It was quiet, isolated, the kind of place where nothing really happens. Or at least, that's what I thought. One thing I'll never forget is that walk. Day after day up and down that dirt road. The crunch of gravel under my shoes. The stillness of the air, broken only by the occasional bird call. And for about a week, there was something else. This awful smell. I first noticed it maybe 5 minutes from my house. Just this horrible rotten stench that made me wrinkle my nose and walk a little faster. Out in the country, smells aren't unusual. Animals die. Things rot. Sometimes farmers dump stuff they shouldn't. So I figured it was a dead kangaroo, or a fox, or maybe even someone's old garbage left out too long. Gross, sure, but not unusual. Except this smell didn't go away. Every day walking past the same spot, it was there. Thick. Heavy. Like it clung to the back of your throat. It was the kind of smell that makes you swallow hard and breathe through your mouth because you know one deep inhale will make you gag. I passed it 4 times that week. Each time I thought about checking it out. Curiosity always wins eventually, right? But I kept telling myself it was just some animal. No big deal. Until one afternoon after an exam, I was walking home with a friend. He smelled it too, and he wrinkled his nose. "Mate, what is that?" he asked. I laughed nervously and said, "I don't know, been smelling it for days now. Probably a dead cat or something." He gave me this look like he didn't believe me, and then said what I'd been secretly thinking. "Should we go check it out?" I hesitated. Part of me wanted to just keep walking, pretend it didn't exist. But I was also a dumb teenager with nothing better to do, and too much curiosity. So I nodded. "Yeah, let's see." We stepped off the dirt road, into the tall grass. The smell got worse with every step. We covered our noses with our sleeves, laughing in that nervous, "this is gross but kind of funny" way, and then we saw it. About 5 meters from the road, half hidden in the weeds, was this black garbage bag. Big, stuffed full, and weirdly bloated like a balloon. I remember stopping, staring at it, and saying, "That's gotta be it. Whatever's in there, that's what stinks." My friend said, "Dude, that's disgusting." And me, being the idiot that I was, decided to throw a rock at it. Don't ask me why. Maybe I thought it'd scare out a dead possum, maybe I thought it would be funny. But I picked up a rock, tossed it at the bag, and it popped. Not like a little rip. Not like something tearing open slowly. It burst, and this foul, white goo just exploded out of it. The smell that came out, God, I can't even describe it. It was like every dead thing you've ever smelled concentrated into one punch to the face. We gagged immediately. My friend doubled over, dry heaving. I tried to breathe through my mouth, but it didn't help. I felt bile rising in my throat. We both turned and bolted, running as fast as we could back to my house, half laughing, half vomiting. because it was so gross, so surreal. When we got back, we couldn't stop laughing about it. "Oh my God, that was nasty," I kept saying. My friend was pale, shaking his head, still gagging every few seconds, but we treated it like a joke. Like we just popped some roadkill bag and that was the end of it. I didn't think about it again. Not seriously anyway. I figured some messed up neighbor dumped their dead pet there, or maybe it was trash that had gone bad. Either way, it wasn't my problem. I moved on. A week later, I was walking home alone. It was quiet that day. The sky was overcast, the air heavy. As I got closer to my road, I noticed something strange. Mounted police. 2 officers on horses were making their way slowly down the dirt track. Their uniforms sharp, their faces serious. Not the kind of thing you see every day out there. And near the entrance to my property, I spotted more. A dog squad. Officers walking with German shepherds, the dogs sniffing at the ground, tails stiff, bodies tense. I slowed down, confused. It didn't click at first. Maybe they were looking for drugs, maybe a missing pet. I don't know. But then, as I got closer to that spot, the spot where the smell had been worst, where that bag had been, this sinking feeling hit me. Hard. I felt my stomach twist. My mouth went dry. And all I could think was, oh shit. I walked past as quickly as I could, heart pounding, trying not to look suspicious even though no one was paying attention to me. But inside I knew. I knew what they were looking for. I knew what I had seen. And I was right. That bag, the one my friend and I popped, laughing like idiots as the smell of death washed over us, it wasn't a dead cat. It wasn't trash. It was the body of a girl who had been murdered, her life cut short and then dumped along the fence line of my family's property like garbage. When I found out, I felt physically sick. My stomach dropped. I replayed every second of that day in my mind. The bag, the smell, the goo that shot out. I wanted to throw up just thinking about it. I had been standing right next to her. I had thrown a rock at her body, and then I ran away laughing. It haunted me. Still does. For weeks I couldn't sleep properly. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that bag. I heard the sound of it popping. I smelled that sickening stench. And then I'd imagine her. This poor girl, alone, discarded, and me being too naive, too stupid to realize what I'd stumbled across. The police never told us much. I overheard some details through neighbors and bits in the news, but never the full story. Just that she had been murdered and her body had been dumped not far from my driveway. To this day, I don't know her name. I don't know who killed her, or if they were caught. What I do know is that a piece of her story is tangled up with mine, forever. Sometimes when I walk down that dirt road in my memories, I can still smell it. That foul stench that lingered in the air for days. Only now, I know exactly what it was. And I wish I didn't. Even now, years later, I feel sick when I think about it. I wish I had called someone sooner. I wish I hadn't treated it like a joke. But I was just a teenager, too young to realize that horror can sit right on your doorstep, hidden in plain sight, and that's something you never really forget. So yeah, that's my story. The day I stumbled across something I'll regret forever. The day I found a murdered girl's body without even realizing it. If you've listened this far, thank you for sticking with me through something so heavy. If you want to hear more true haunting stories like this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and follow the channel. It really helps us share more stories here on True Threads.